Hello and welcome to the WOOLapyk Podcast. My name is Ida and this is a podcast about knitting, dyeing yarn, and a little bit about my life here in Roskilde, Denmark. Roskilde is a town that's sort of southwest of Copenhagen. It's around half an hour from Copenhagen, so if you know Denmark and you know where Copenhagen is, you also sort of know where Roskilde is. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my trip to Edinburgh Yarn Festival. It's going to be... Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Okay, sorry, I thought my boyfriend's daughter was coming in the room. She's not. Okay. Anyway, so what I was saying was today is gonna be a shorter episode because it's late or later in the evening. It's almost 8:30 and the sun has already set or is setting at the moment, so we don't have a whole lot of light left. I have quite a lot of things accumulating that I wanted to talk about, so I thought I would just do a shorter episode where I get some of that stuff shown and talked about, and that way it's also easier for me to edit because a shorter episode is obviously quicker to edit than a longer one. So I think, so like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about Edinburgh Yarn Festival. This was my first time there. I don't think I'm going to talk like in detail about it because, for me at least, as I love watching podcasts, but I generally don't really find it that interesting when people talk in detail about festivals that I didn't attend. So I don't want to do that either, but I do want to shortly just talk about my experience and show off some of the yarns that I got there, and talk about the plans that I have for those yarns as well. And I'm also going to show some of the projects that I brought with me that I worked on while I was there. And I think that's going to be it for this episode. My camera is recording at 20 minutes intervals, so I'm hoping to do this within those 20 minutes. That's my goal. We'll see. There's 17 minutes left, so I think I'm just going to get started with showing you. Let me see. This right here is what we are going to talk about in this episode. So I have yarn in here, and I have a couple of projects that I've been working on. But first, I think, so like I said, this was my first time at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I went with I went with a group of knitters that has been going, I think this was the 4th or 5th time there. So they are pro at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. They know everything. And for me, I showed up at the airport and that was it. Like, they knew everything. I just followed them along. They knew about how to get there. They knew about how to purchase tickets for the bus, how to which way to go. They had already booked an Airbnb that was amazing. They knew where to go eat brunch. They knew everything. So for me, I would say the festival itself was lovely. There was so much yarn, so many beautiful things. But for me, the biggest or the best part was just going and not having to organize anything, or not having to think about anything, or it was just a real vacation. I didn't have to think about where to eat. I didn't have to think about where to go. I just had to take care of myself, put some clothes on, bring my knitting, and everything else was taken care of. And that was just a huge luxury, I think, for anyone, and especially, I guess, if you have kids. You always have to think about everything all the time. Did I bring clothing? Did I bring diapers? Did I bring snacks? Yeah, everything. So for me, just not having to think about those things and only having to think about myself is just the biggest luxury. And also the people that I went with were amazing and sweet and kind, and we just had such lovely, especially the evenings, we would just sit and talk and knit, and I really enjoyed that. So I don't know if any of those of you guys are watching, but if you are, thank you so much for bringing me along. I really had a nice time. So yeah, and then the festival itself was really cool. Yeah, it was quite big, and there was a lot of yarn. And I think the first day we went, I didn't really buy anything. I was quite overwhelmed with everything. There was a lot of people, and a lot of yarn. There's a big range of yarns, so there are commercial yarns, but there's a lot of hand-dyed yarns, and there's a lot of more rustic, well, not rustic, but like British wool, and in all sorts of, all kinds. And I didn't really go for any of the hand-dyed yarns, just because I think I dye hand-dyed yarn myself, and I don't really need more hand-dyed yarns, so I got more of the woolly yarns. Unfortunately, I didn't have tickets for this Sunday there, which is, I can't remember what it's called, but that's where they have a lot of local people, or British people, UK people, coming from farms around the UK, showcasing their yarns. And I would really have loved to be there, to been there. So I think if I go next year, I'm definitely gonna get tickets for that. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna talk a whole lot more about the festival. I think there are a lot of podcasts out there and a lot of podcasters who've been talking about EYF this year, and definitely go check them out. I was watching Diana Waller, which is called Paper Tiger Craft or something like that. She went and she did a little vlog from the trip, and she also is recommending other people's podcasts, because they are talking a lot more about the festival itself, and I think I watched those too, and they will do it a lot better than I am. But yeah, I would definitely go again. I really enjoyed it. It's just fun being around a lot of like-minded people, and knitters are just really kind people, in my experience at least. So okay, so we have 12 minutes. Oh, sorry, the camera is. There we go. So it's getting quite dark. Let's see how this goes. I think I'm going to start with showing off one of the projects that I was working on. This is the Little Sisters Romper. There's a lot of ends here to weave in, as you may see. But this is Little Sisters Romper by PetiteKnit, and I knit this with my own hand-dyed yarn in the Golddigger colorway. It is a grayish blue base, or well, I dyed the base grayish blue. And then it has different specks of coppery, orangey colors on there. I don't know if you can see it in this light. I knit the smallest size, so this is like a newborn size, and it is teeny tiny. I think even maybe my daughter was born a month early, and she was 2.5 kilos when she was the smallest, and I think she might even have been able to fit into this tiny little thing. Obviously has a lot of stress, so and I knit this just because I wanted a sample for Fiber Folk, which is a knitting festival that I organize. I'm not going to talk about that in this episode. I'm going to do that in another episode, but I didn't get it finished, and yeah, life happens. But now I have it for future shows, basically. Yeah, it was a really easy pattern to follow. I was knitting this, and then as I was knitting it, I was like, why did I decide to knit this thing? Because I'm actually not really that into the shape of the bottom part of it. It's kind of looks a little bit like a bathing suit to me. And I think I prefer rompers that are has a lot more volume at the bottom. I think they look a lot like really cute on babies. But whatever. I mean, this works fine for a baby too, and it definitely works fine for as a piece to have or bring along to knitting shows. Yeah, and then it's, you know, it's a great gift knit. It's very quick, and this is the fingering weight version. She also has one for a worsted weight, I think. Same exact pattern, just thicker yarn. And it gets the job done. I mean, it works fine. It keeps the baby warm. For me, I just think I like, yeah, a different type of romper. But nothing to do with the pattern. I knew what I was buying, so I don't really know what I was thinking. She had a sale, and I think I was just like, you know, getting just excited for the sale and for the like possibility or the option to save like $1 on a knitting pad or something like that. I don't know, but I would definitely recommend this pattern if you like the shape of it. Totally go for it. It's easy to follow, and it will keep the baby warm. The other thing that I was working on is this is a leg, and I just started the other one. These are the lace pants by Knitting for Olive, and I'm knitting this in my own hand-dyed yarn, and this is a GOTS certified yarn, so it's organic wool and organic cotton. I think it's 55% organic wool, 45% organic cotton. Yeah, and it's, like I said, it's the lace pants by Knitting for Olive. This took me forever to knit because I was knitting this as we were talking, sitting down and talking at EYF in the evenings with the people that I went there with, and I just kept making mistakes. So, but now I have first leg done, and second leg is going to be worked on soon, I hope, because I want her to wear this or these pants this spring and the summer as well. Yeah, not much else to say about these. Still easy pattern to follow. There's a chart for the lace, and the rest of the pattern is written, obviously. And the colorway is Prairie grass, I think. Yeah, okay. Speeding through because I have 7 minutes left. We can do this. Okay, so my first purchase was from... Was it my first? I think it was my first purchase. It was from Bouge. I don't know. I don't speak French, but these are actually a Danish family living in France, and they have a yarn company. They sell mainly, I think most of their wool is 100% lamb's wool, and so are these two. It's just a white wool. This is the first skein, and this one is a very you can't tell. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to. No, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to redo this, or I may take some footage of this in daylight because you can't really see the color probably. It's a dark blue, but there's bits of purple in there, and I couldn't see that as I bought it. I thought it was just this really dark blue color. And then once I came out in the light, so most of the festival is indoors, and there are no windows, so it's hard to tell the colors, which is, for me, I think that's the only thing that I was bummed about, is that it was hard to tell the colors of the yarn. But so when I came out in the light, there was a lot more purple in this yarn, and I think I preferred the only blue and not purple part of it, so I liked it better inside than outside. But for the project that I'm planning, it will be fine. I'm planning to knit a pair of Selvuvotter mittens. I have a book that I want to show you next time. It's a beautiful book, but I'm not going to get into it now because I don't have a ton of time. But really into this blue and white color scheme at the moment, which you will see because I have more blue and white yarns. Yeah, so the colorway is this. The blue one is called dark blue black, and the white is just an off-white. It's a really nice, it's rustic, the yarn, but it's soft still. I find it quite soft, and I think it does, it's gonna be really, what's that? Really perfect for Colorwork, because it has that rusticy sort of stickiness to the yarn, so it's gonna stick together nicely. That's what I hope, at least. Okay, so my second purchase was this coat. You may notice that the lighting has changed, and so has my shirt. And that's because it's the day after. I just fast forward 16 hours, I guess you could say, because my daughter woke up last night and she was running a fever all night. So yeah, it was just too dark and I couldn't really show you the colors of the yarn because of that. So they are outside right now. My boyfriend and Freya and Esther are out in the garden. So I think I just have maybe 20 minutes time to quickly record the rest of this episode. I wanted to show you the yarn. Again, you can see the blue a lot better now than you could yesterday. I don't know if I told you, it's a finger and weight. I can't remember if I said that. 50 grams, 48 meters per skein. So these would be perfect for a pair of gloves. And here's the book that I was talking about. This is the Selvuvotter book, which is a Norwegian book about Selvu mittens, and it is beautiful. It is just, I've been borrowing this from the library. I think this is my third time borrowing it, and I just really like flicking through it, looking at all the patterns. There is sort of an introduction with the history about how the Selvu mittens sort of came to be. Selvu is in an region in Norway, and yeah, it's just been really interesting to sort of read about that and how they, how it started out and how it also generated money for that region, and also just the story about some of the patterns in here. And there are a lot of patterns. I mean, it's really just full of images and different patterns, as you can see. The camera keeps autofocusing and that's really annoying. Let me just see if I can fix that. Okay, I hope this is better. I just changed the setting. I hope it's better. Anyway, so yeah, the book, highly recommended. Even if you don't understand or read Norwegian, you can use it, because there are charts in here. There are, I think in the back of the book, there's even a, like, you can print out. I don't know if you can see. It's like a printout, and you can draw your own patterns, so you can choose patterns from the book. I think I'm going to go for like a very traditional star, the Selvu star. Let me see if I can find a picture of one. I think there's one here. There's different kinds, but sort of like this. And then I think I want the cuffs to, I would like the back of the cuffs. I'm thinking of doing our family. So I want on one cuff I would like Jakob and I, and then the other I want our daughter and Jakob's daughter too. I thought that was quite nice. So you can actually, maybe you can see right here, there are a man and a woman. I would like to do something like that. I think that would be fun. Yeah, but that's it. I don't really know how I want the inside of the patterning on the palm, how I want that to be yet, but I'll figure that out. At least I have the yarn now. I have the book, and there's a long time for winter. so I have time for this. I really need mittens. I don't really have any. This year I've actually been wearing store-bought mittens that I've had for quite some years, and most of them I only have one, so I've been wearing mismatch mittens, which just seems silly considering I could knit my own 2 pairs that have a matching pair of mittens. But yeah, time doesn't allow for all the knitting that I want. Okay, so just pulling this bag out again. The other thing that I got at Edinburgh Yarn Festival was this cone of 100% pure new British wool. There is 500 grams and 750 meters in this cone. It's an Erin weight. At least that's what it says, Unnatural Erin. And this is just a very woolly wool. I don't have any specific plans for this. I just really I like the rusticness of it, that you got it on the cone, and I thought maybe I would do some dyeing on it. I may do that. Maybe I'll just keep it in this nice cream natural colored yarn. Yeah, I don't really, like I said, I don't have any plans, but I'm thinking, I don't know if 750 meters are enough for a full-on long-sleeved sweater. But I'm thinking it's going to be a garment of sorts, so maybe it'll just be a short-sleeved, something short-sleeved for me. I'll figure that out. It's from Otterlanish. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Can you see? Somebody was complaining last time that she got seasick from the motion, so but I also like that I can keep things close up so you can see it. So I'll try not to do it too much, but I still want you guys to see it, so hopefully you'll manage. Let me just show you the other yarns closer now as well. Can you see all the specks in here? Don't know if you can see the purple. There's definite purple in here. I'm not a huge fan of that, I would say, but it still brings such a nice depth to the color. I think these mittens will be beautiful. I'm really excited about them. Anyway, so the other thing I got was 5 skeins of yarn, or 5 balls of yarn, I should say. And 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I'm missing a skein. Well, I have 5 of these. I don't know where the 5th one is, but it's here somewhere, I hope. So this is it. You can tell. I got this dark red color. It's a little darker than what shows up on the camera, but not quite as bright. Then I got the brown, and then I got this neutral beigey color. It does have sort of a slight yellow hue to it. I got 3 of these, and then 1 of each of the other 2. And this yarn is from, let's say JC Rennie and Co. And it's a Scottish mill. It is, let me see, what does it say? 100% wool. Can I see? There. I really like the label. And you can see the mill and everything. And it's established from 1798. I really like that too. So it's an old mill. And the plans for these colors are a Nordica sweater by Caitlin Hunter. These are definitely not my usual colors, or like the color palette that I would usually gravitate to it, especially not the red. But I don't know, I just saw them together and I thought that would just make such a beautiful Nordica. The red is not going to be very dominant in the sweater. It's going to be the one that I use less yarn of. It's part of the Colorwork. This middle color is going to be the body, and then this is going to be the other contrast color for the Colorwork. Again, this yarn is just, well, it's wool and it has this sticky feel to it, so I think it's going to be perfect for Colorwork as well. I tried on a sample of the Nordica. I've been debating back and forth whether I wanted to knit it or not, and I kind of decided not to knit it. Ooh, let's just get this here. There we go. But then I tried it on. Wyselda had a booth where she had samples from. She had different samples. She also had all the samples from Lane magazine, the newest issue 7. And I tried on the Nordica, and it's just, I really like the way the fit of it. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna buy it. And then Caitlin Hunter also had a sale. I thought, okay, everything, it's a sign. I need to knit this sweater. Oh, actually, I tried on the, oh my goodness, is it called Kuhei? It's like a open front cardigan, short-sleeved cardigan, sort of oversized, from Lane magazine. I can't remember the designer. And I was actually thinking about maybe I would use this yarn for that one. So I do have sort of a plan for it. The only thing is that the sample is knit in a wool fork yarn. Maybe it's the Flit or Fall, I can't remember. But it's a very sort of light, soft, and drapey yarn, and this is not going to be drapey, so it depends on how I want that cardigan to fit. If I think this will be fine for it, I don't know. I'm hoping maybe other people are going to knit it up in other kinds of yarns, and I can see how the garment is going to fit them depending on what type of yarn they use, and then I'll decide from there. But that was my thought with this yarn. Totally forgot that. Okay, so I have a couple more things. This one I do not have a specific pattern for, but I kept going back to this Gardener booth, and especially this yarn base. It's a organic Shetland wool, and it's super nice. And I thought, well, I don't know, I just needed to have it. This was actually my only purchase, I guess, then, that didn't really have it planned for it, but I just kept going back to this booth and looking at this yarn. And it's so pretty. Really nice. I think it's going to be beautiful for textured knitting or cables and things like that. I was thinking that maybe I would just knit a vest out of this for my daughter, because there's only 100 grams, so it's, yeah, I could knit a hat as well. Maybe I'll knit a hat for me. That would also be quite nice. Can you see there? It's called Rona's DK, so it's a DK weight. It is 130 meters and 50 grams, and it's called Chalk colorway, and it's GOT certified. It's all the good things. It was a beautiful booth as well. They had a lot of like natural colored yarns, and then it also had a whole wall of what's it called, of hand dyed yarns on their bases. And I kept going back and forth because originally I wanted to buy yarn for my gloves from Gardener, but I really just fell in love with this base, and they only had a DK base, and they didn't have any dyed up version of this Rona's from this base, and so I decided to get the Biche Bouche colors instead for that, and then just get these for something. I really don't know what, but it's just, yeah, a really nice yarn. I don't really know how to describe it other than it's just nice, rustic. It has a nice feel to it. It's sort of bouncy. Yeah. Okay, So I have one more thing. Well, I have more skeins, but I have one project that I also ended up buying yarn for, and that is, it's a mix of yarns. So I bought 3 skeins of Snell, which is a pure wool from the Faroe Islands. And it's a very light gray base, and it is 4-ply, 100% wool, 360 meters, so it's a fingering weight. I want to pair this yarn with these. So like I said, I definitely have a blue, sort of blue-white, well this is a light gray, theme going on. I really want to knit a Colorwork sweater, sort of all over Colorwork sweater, with this yarn as the base and this blue. I have 4 skeins of this blue as the contrast color for the Colorwork. And let me just put some of it down. And I've had my eyes on a Marie Wallin pattern called Fleur. Like, I feel like I have to say all these French names in this podcast, and I do not speak French. I think it's called Fleur. Fleur. I'm gonna write it down because I can't say that name apparently. So anyway, but then I saw she had a booth at Edinburgh as well, and I saw a couple of other versions. I saw Lapwing, and I also saw Diana Waller in her podcast. She was wearing that sweater as well, and I think I like the patterning on that better than I like it on the other sweater. The other sweater also has a lot of different colors, and I just want mine to be 2 colors, and Lapwing has only 2 colors. The thing is, I like the shape of Fleur better than I do on Lapwing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going for the shape of Fleur. I'm going for the shape of the first, I'm just going to call it the first sweater. I'm going for the shape of the first sweater, which is like boxy crop version, and it has drop shoulders. Lapwing also has drop shoulders, but it's more of a fitted version. So I'm thinking if I go up a couple of sizes from a normal size, and I knit, take off a couple of repeats of the body, so it gets more of a, it should get kind of the same, it should get the same shape as the first sweater that I originally wanted to knit. Yeah, I really like Marie Wallin's design. She makes such beautiful Colorwork sweaters. Yeah, they're very intricate, and it may also be that this will be a year out ahead of me, because I think it is a commitment, and I am a slow knitter, and I don't have as much knitting time as I want to at the moment. So, but we'll see. I could also knit the Little Twigs by Yonko Akamoto. It's a Japanese designer. It's beautiful. And I actually saw a version knit up in like a white base and a blue contrast color of that one, and it was beautiful. So I may also do that, but I remember once I started knitting, I was looking in those Rona magazines, and there was always a lot of Colorwork sweaters by Marie Wallin in those. So I kind of want to knit one of her patterns, just because I remember her and remember being so impressed by just her beautiful designs, and also thinking I will never be able to knit those. So it would be quite fun to do that at some point. This yarn, I don't think I talked about this. This is Jameson & Smith. They had a booth with so many colors. I was sort of going back and forth between Jameson & Smith and also the other, what's it called? I think it's just called Jameson, which are 2 different yarn brands, but they sort of have the same type of yarn. and also the same, they have a lot of colors to choose from, but I ended up with this because I like this blue the best. Beautiful, beautiful color. This is Shetland wool, yeah, 25 grams. This is their 2-ply jumper weight. Just a beautiful dark clear blue color. I think this is gonna be so pretty together. Really pretty. So yeah, that's it. We made it. We made it. So wait, I'm gonna show you one more thing because it's right here. I have 2 minutes left on the camera, and I just wanted to do a quick show of my progress on the Flaum cardigan that I was talking about. I was talking about the swatch last time, and I wanted to show you how far I've gotten. So this is it. I am working on sleeve number 2. I am running out of yarn in this thing, so I was working away on the body, and then I suddenly saw how little yarn I had left, and I decided to just knit the sleeves, because then I know, okay, I can use the rest of the yarn for the body of the sweater. This is going to be a, this is the opening for the pocket, so I would like it to just be a little bit longer, so the pockets are longer. I'm not going to talk about the construction, I'll do that in the next episode, but I will say this has been such a fun knit. I really enjoyed working on this, even though it's fisherman rib and rib all the way. It's just, the construction is genius. I'll talk more about it. But yeah, and I don't have a lot of yarn left, so I don't know. I'll be fine with it being cropped. I just would like it to be a little longer here, so there's actual pockets and not just a little, I don't know. This would just be kind of ridiculous for a pocket like this tiny little piece here. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for now. I think I'm gonna sit down with a cup of coffee and knit a little bit on this beautiful thing, hoping that they'll be out in the garden for just a little longer. We have an allotment garden which is just across the street. We live on the 2nd floor, and we just put up the trampoline yesterday, so hopefully that's gonna keep the girls occupied for a little while, and I will get a little time, and then we are going for an Easter dinner or lunch later this afternoon, so it's gonna be a nice day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you hopefully very soon. Bye.